It's Ketchup Packets.
Hey everybody, I'm Sean.
I'm Nate.
And this is Ketchup Packets. Today we're back with more Andor. We're on Season 1, Episode 11, called Daughter of Ferrix. So that makes me think of Cassian's mom, who is sick back home. And the Daughters of Ferrix was like the organization that she belonged to. Right. There was a reference to her belonging to them. So maybe they're going to step up and help her, or step up and help the rebellion in some way, or
maybe it's going to be a flashback episode.
That would be interesting to do as we ramp towards. This is the penultimate episode of the season.
Yeah, so, you're right.
Be a strange placement for that, but it's not impossible. Last time they escaped from prison.
Yeah, he's running barefoot through a desert.
Yes, with someone else. One other guy. I don't think we know him, do we?
No, I don't think so. Do we just not know who it is?
Yeah, I don't think we saw specifically who it is.
See his face, yeah.
But Kino Loy stayed behind because he can't swim.
Sad.
So I think he might be in some trouble, presumably.
It was explained to us in the comments. I thought was interesting. I just want to mention that we were saying like, well, they're not that far from land. It seems like they should have put the prison somewhere else. But other previous shots of the prison had like giant sucking vortexes on the outside. Yeah,
they showed them shutting that off. I just thought that was the mechanism powering the prison as well.
But it was also security. Jump into that, you're gonna die.
That's a good point. Yeah, and people were also saying that the reason that the prisons are close to shore is because they're standing structures. They're not floating structures. If you wanted them in remote water, they'd have to be able to float on their own or stay. They want to stand on the bottom of the water, so that's why they need to be close to shore. I get that. It makes sense.
Yeah. I just thought that was interesting. I hadn't thought about that before.
Yeah. So I guess we didn't consider the whirlpools as security.
But it also seems like a power outage would be the opportune time to stage a breakout attempt,
But it's all, it's the theme in this whole show of the Empire's hubris. Of their, they don't account for what if something in our system doesn't go to plan.
Right. That's
They're
true.
like, we had the electric floor, we got the whirlpools, those work. The power's not going to fail, just don't let it fail.
Per floor, all good. We got this.
The thing in Chernobyl of why worry about something that isn't going to happen. That's totally how they operate too.
Yeah, it's true.
So and then we had Luthen's sort of rebel soliloquy at the end of the episode. That he was talking about all that he's sacrificed from his soul in order to try and get the rebellion going. And I guess we didn't have a full appreciation for how single-handedly he kind of brings the Rebel Alliance into existence. You know? There are these little disparate groups that take pot shots every now and again, and he really does things like sacrifice 50 guys who he knows are just going to get killed, and other things like that in service of organizing those smaller groups into a force that's actually able to stand up to the Empire. And we know the future, so we know it does work. They are able to blow up the Death Star by doing this.
That's true.
His efforts are justified, and this is a situation where we can say who the good and the bad guys are. It's Star Wars. It's not like it's all shades of gray and violence and stuff like that.
Right.
No, he's a good guy. And so I think that's sort of the point he was making that we didn't maybe fully appreciate last time while we were watching it. We got some flack in the comments.
Yeah. I'm still going to let that one lie because I do have my opinions, but I also think that there's a piece of it where it's kind of supposed to be like you kind of pick a side on it. It's not necessarily cut and dry that everything he's doing is completely justified. He kind of clarifies I don't like to have to do these things. Right. But it's like if you're going to have a game of chess happening, you got to have somebody moving the pieces around.
Yeah, and he's like, I didn't set the terms, they did, and I had to play on the terms that they set,
So I'm willing to accept that. Let's call to peace this discussion because I understand. Well, I read all the comments. I understand what was being said in them. But I also, I don't know. I feel like he was being a little bit grandiose talking to a guy who had just been undercover with, and he was like, dude, I want out. I miss my family. I'm worried. I'm scared for my, And it gave him the insight that there's going to be this attack, and then he's just like, well, I guess those guys are just going to die now. And then he gave his big, I make so many sacrifices speech. Rubbed me the wrong way. but I get it.
Several people brought up the real-world example of the Enigma code that we allowed Allied soldiers to walk into ambushes in World War II so that the Germans didn't know we'd broken their code.
Right.
And so it's a similar kind of thing of, you can't tip your hand to a... But, that's no consolation to the people whose lives are ending.
Right, yeah.
And that's the hard part. I think that's all we were really saying.
Yes.
Is that, it's small. We understand the argument for the greater good, but it's small consolation for the people who are meeting the end of their lives.
Exactly. It could have been prevented, and they chose not to prevent it for tactical reasons.
But they've joined a rebellion, and they've put their lives on the line for that cause. So I understand that. We don't need to get bogged down in this.
Presumably knew what they were signing up for. Yes, you're right. We don't.
This is all pre-discussion.
Yes,
I want to see what Daughter of Ferrix is about. So do we have anything else?
No.
All right, so let's get to it then. We have a Patreon. It's down there. Full-length reactions ahead of the YouTube versions. Movie polls. Check that out. Star Wars.
Ooh, man.
I can't feel my hands.
Is that looking for all the prisoners, probably?
They're living.
Yep.
They're living.
Oh, God.
A good percentage of them are going to get found, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I can't climb back up. You hear me? I hear you.
They're pretty visible.
Work. They're living. They're living.
Oh, my God.
She looks so peaceful.
That's scary to me.
Can't imagine clinging so desperately, Just like, oh, if I let go, I will fall and die or get spotted.
Yeah, I like to climb
She would have wanted
with
to go
ropes for that reason.
away. Heartbreaking.
What is this? I thought they were torturing B.
Yeah.
We're gonna take her out in a minute if you want to say goodbye.
Oh no, his mom is dying.
I don't want to be alone. I want Mama Marva.
Oh.
I don't know if I've ever seen a droid have emotional attachments before.
Yeah.
We need to pull together, B. All of us.
Sitting there being like, why did we program them to have emotions like that?
Yeah.
Why is the robot sad?
How is Cassian gonna feel when he finds out he missed this?
Yeah, he was in prison for some stupid bullshit. Unbelievable. Just another reason to hate the Empire. Oh my God. How do you even have any hope of, like, true escape in a situation like this? Like, you're on a planet, dude.
Yeah, there's a ship. You just hope that these guys are either helpful or easy to overpower.
Yeah. Well, they're aliens.
So I hope you can communicate. Hope that you can make friends.
Oh God! Zap! Oh, net gun? Oh, that sucks.
Nice. It's a good technology. Slimy nets.
They're building a list of grievances.
We want a funeral.
Excuse me?
You're going to give them a permit. Keep it small.
Trying to draw Cassian out.
The dead are bricked. They mix your ashes with mortar and local stone dust, put your name on and fire it up. You become a block of Ferrix brick.
Huh.
Interesting tradition.
I wouldn't mind being a brick. Sounds kind of cool.
I don't care what happens to me after I'm dead.
Yeah, brick's as good as anything.
What? What's squiggly now? What's left?
Well, you no harm.
I didn't realize we could understand them.
Spoil our water. All our water.
These two guys look like they're even, like, kind of different species, don't they?
Yeah.
They're not who they kill, hey? Stop the Empire. They not be killing ye.
These guys are really cool.
Yeah. Wild.
Where ye be looking to run now, eh?
They're friendly after all.
Can we use your ship, though? Oh, man.
Give me an entire Star Wars series about characters who look like that.
Yeah, sweet. Cool. You got a janky ship?
Are we alone?
You'd like to get something for her?
We have some new pieces in.
Where is he?
She's been collecting jewelry.
I don't have time for this.
She's very clearly telling you you're being listened to.
Right.
Everything you're doing right now is wrong.
Tomorrow is too late. Where is he?
You're putting so many...
You're lucky he's not here.
She would be having this conversation with you openly if she could.
Cassian Andor. The mother died. I'm leaving in the morning. Cinta says it's very busy there.
So everything's gonna converge on her funeral?
Well, let him know.
Seems bad. It's a cool door. I don't think I ever noticed how cool that door is.
Yeah, the production design on this show has been 10 out of 10 the whole way through. It's really immersive Star Wars-y feel to every inch of this.
Totally.
I want full coverage, spotters front and back. I want to know immediately about any comings and goings. Visitors, deliveries, anything.
Hey, alright, this guy again.
Back to my place. I have work in the morning.
I'm charging.
You've been there all day.
B's like legitimately depressed.
Yeah. I'm not laughing because
She's
he's
not here,
depressed.
mate.
I'm laughing because of how silly it is for a droid to be depressed.
Yeah.
I can't leave you here alone. She wouldn't want that.
Maybe it comes along with it being able to run a consciousness. It has to be able to have like emotions that have these faults built in.
Yeah.
It won't feel that way to you.
Poor Bix is permanently scarred.
Bix.
I hope it's not completely permanent.
She still is far from recovered. We'll
Yes,
say that.
true that.
Anto Krieger.
Okay, well, we've heard his name before.
Is this the man you introduced to Cassian Andor?
Oh, okay, so they are on the wrong track.
Bix.
She's afraid to say no, even though it's the truth.
Safe in the knot, in the binding, the old ways teach us. Bound against the
What's all this about?
tied to shore.
It's kids reciting something.
No. She loves it. And her friends. It's the only thing she shows up on time for. It's mad.
Yielding in acceptance.
Don't tell me you're taking proposals.
I'm in so much trouble, Val.
Feathered impermanence.
Can't hide that money, huh?
A few months ago, I was contacted by one of the bankers back home. I was warned that Imperial inspectors might be taking a close look at Chandrillin accounts. Said they were contacting clients. I thought Tay could help me replace the credits and get me started again, but what he really did was discover just how much more trouble I was in.
How much is missing?
400,000.
Can't they cover that with the Aldani money?
And they're looking into this way.
Yeah, and also, well...
But that's not clean.
Yeah. But, I mean, also, couldn't you just be like, I'm a politician, I was doing corrupt stuff? Feel like the Empire probably wouldn't care about that.
I mean,
You know?
has to be sanctioned corruption.
Yeah.
I found a solution.
Auntie Val!
Involving the daughter?
How's it been? Good. I'm well. How are you?
Oh, it's nearly as tall as me.
Damn.
Messed up.
Yeah.
Call for you.
Oh, God.
Is that you, sir?
Yes.
Oh, my God, he's back.
Sergeant, I can barely hear you.
Yes! Moana 1, still here!
Just speak clearly.
Indeed! Been a bit rugged for me lately, but, you know, the lots it over!
It doesn't sound like he's really
No.
talking to him. He's
Yeah.
not responding to what he's saying.
The mother!
You were talking about Andor.
Yeah, she's passed away!
Andor's mother?
There's lots of back and forth with Coruscant about it.
Are you
Yeah,
saying
it's-
he's there?
Oh no, I'm in Moana.
Where is Andor?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is a recording of
Yeah.
a different conversation.
Right.
Right?
The mystery of your former triumphs has been vanquished. I can sleep peacefully now.
Oh, great. Thanks, Mom. If I was him, I'd be trying to find my own apartment so fast.
Yeah, he's got that job now. How can he not afford a place to live?
What's all this? You wouldn't know.
He's got a cool voice.
Mm-hmm.
Tell Krieger I'm in. Tell him I bring air power. But we take tactical orders from no one. Make it happen.
I think not. ISB knows Krieger's plan. They'll be waiting for him.
And how do we know this?
I won't tell you that.
Oh, so he is saving those guys after all. See, Luthen's heart does still have pull.
Yeah.
And what if it was me instead of Krieger? What would you do?
Krieger doesn't know me. I'm not vulnerable if he's captured. Do we let Krieger go down and play the long game? Or do we warn him? Throw away his source it's taken years to cultivate.
Oh, interesting. So
someone with Krieger? Someone at ISB? Maybe there's someone here with me.
You're wasting time.
Why wouldn't you?
You're avoiding the choice.
Who is it? Who is it?
Oh.
Yeah, you are avoiding this question though.
It's Tubes. It's my man. He tells me everything. Tell him he deserves to know.
What is this?
It's not true.
What kind of game is this?
Ooh, it was sneaky.
Krieger pulls out, we wave him off. They'll know they'll have to wonder. They'll trust nothing.
Oh, okay, so he's justifying the sacrifice. And Saul's like, well, you'd sacrifice me then if it was the other way around?
Yep.
30 men.
Plus Krieger.
For the greater good.
Call it what you will.
So that's why they were asking Bix if Krieger was Axis, because they're hoping they can just tie this all up with the operation they already have going.
Right. So why did he give him that choice? I don't even understand why he was there in the first place. Maybe I was just... It's a lot to follow.
Whoa. What's
yeah.
this? It's like a little mini Star Destroyer.
Yeah, it's pretty cool looking.
This is an Imperial patrol. Stand by for transponder scan.
ID found.
Oh, cool.
Yes, this
nice
is
little
all
fake
Computer,
signal.
make me an alias.
Stand by, Hallcraft. Run it.
What's out there?
It's a crazy looking ship.
Power the tractor beam. How long are the ID?
In the queue, sir.
Oh no.
Is Luthen in trouble?
What was the primary purpose of that ship?
Andor on Hallcraft, please.
Scan for stuff.
Yeah, it seems like it. Find anything and anyone sneaking around.
Calibrate tractor force.
Calibrate. Confirm request, Hallcraft.
Tractor force 2.
Sorry, Patrol.
Is he gonna try to run away?
I have to manual these stabilizers.
Oh, he's got the... They don't know about small ships with hyper jumps that
Oh,
he's
yeah.
got.
Gauge reverse stabilizers on my throttle.
Acknowledged.
Kablamo.
Countermeasures armed.
Countermeasures. There we go.
Ooh.
Wow.
Cool. Yeah, that's pretty good
That's
countermeasure.
very effective.
Tractor beacon is failing us.
I can see that. Where's my air wing?
Oh boy.
TIE fighters. And a bomber.
Yeah, wow. Jeez.
Whoa!
Well, the bomber was useless.
TIE fighters go blow up very easily.
Yeah, they sure do. Cool.
Awesome.
Hyperspace calibration complete.
Yeah, whoa.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Well, I feel silly for being worried about him a second ago.
Yeah.
I'm not getting picture.
I need to get a message to Marva Andor.
Cassian?
Don't. No names.
It's too late. Cancel the transmission.
Yeah.
Tell Marva I'm okay. Tell her I'm thinking.
No.
Now he has to give him the news.
Just let her know what I said.
Wait.
What?
Cass, I'm sorry.
He can't not use your name when breaking this news,
Yeah.
you know?
Your mother's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Now he's got to go back right into the trap.
Well, yeah, all his rebellious fire just got totally recontextualized.
I feel like if he was in danger, she would want him to skip the funeral.
Yeah.
Right,
Right?
but
You know?
Okay.
he doesn't always listen to what she wants
Yeah, it's true that.
as best for him.
One of us has to make it. People have to know what's going on.
Take this.
People have to know about this.
I feel like walking around with a blaster would be an obvious red flag in a situation like this.
Well, you conceal it.
Damn.
Didn't get to say goodbye to his mom. Well, that one was... Seems like just sort of some setup for the ending there, for him to get back to his hometown and have the showdown with Deborah and Cyril and...
Yeah. I mean, there was... Okay, so I feel like of all the things so far that has happened to him, you know, he's taken part in at least the heist, you know, and like a little bit of rebellion sort of stuff happening. I think of all the things that would put the fire under my ass to actually like take some purposeful action against the Empire on my own volition, kind of, not just because I'm kind of told I had to, would be being thrown in prison over some garbage and then missing my mom's death.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. And then when he finds out what's happened to Bix, that's gonna be it.
That's true, yeah. The whole arrival back home, like, well, he's gonna be immediately under the microscope, you know, they're all watching for him all over that place, but Cinta is there, and maybe she will warn him, or like be the one edge he's got in terms of a tip-off to keep him from being captured just immediately as soon as he goes back. So.
Yeah, right. I feel like even telling him, I understand he can't keep something like that. Like, the guy he was talking to had like an emotional interest in telling his friend that his mom died. But like, it also, the people around here know he's in trouble, right?
Yeah, but there was no calculation at all involved in that. He was caught off guard. Like, suddenly I'm talking to Cassian. I had no expectation of doing that. He's giving me a message for his mom. The only thing I can say is like, hey, you know, like,
hey man,
it feels like it's wrong to not say she's dead, you know, instead of just being like, oh, okay, will do, you know, like, I totally understand it. That's the only thing you can do in that moment.
Just sucks.
Yeah, it does.
That's what he called right now with a message specifically, tell my mom this. And it's like, oh man, I can't because...
Exactly,
you know?
yeah. So I see what you're saying,
lame,
that might not have been the best calculated move, but there was no calculation in that moment. That was just a guy caught off guard.
I'm waiting for Cassian's... I mean, obviously, this entire season feels like the setup for kind of this thing I'm about to say, but I'm waiting for Cassian's decision to heed the call to action instead of just... There have been a couple little ones, but I think he's just being thrust into situations.
Yeah.
And then he's just dealing with them.
His agency hasn't been at the front of his rebellion yet, but I think...
would say at all.
Right, but I think we're probably moving into that in the finale in the next episode, because my understanding is there are going to be 2 seasons of this show total. Like, there's next season after this, and then it's over, because then it leads into the events of Rogue One, the movie.
Okay.
So... he, you know, it's not going to take forever to get him there, and I think that there will, like, by the time he's in Rogue One, I'm pretty sure he's a fully active, like, rebel taking part in the Steal the Death Star plans operation. So, you know, we have to have some time for season 2 of him, like, getting fully his, you know, getting comfortable in his full rebellion mode, but I don't know.
Yeah, it just seems like so far it's been kind of a long walk.
Yeah, I didn't really expect it to be like that. I thought that he would more quickly, like those first 3 episodes, would kind of kick him into working with Luthen, and now we're doing rebel missions and stuff like that, but he kind of
went on a heist, then he went to prison, and then he, like, you know...
And that's not a bad thing, it's just unexpected, and I think it is more of a natural... Like, it sort of feels like you're reading a history of a famous, you know, revolutionary figure, instead of, like, watching a sort of a Star Wars kind of more simplified story for younger audiences. It's more like, well, this guy did this, and then he was thrown into this, and then he was imprisoned for a while, but he broke out of there, and then after that he discovered he'd missed his mother's death, so he went and did something. We don't know what's next after that. But.
Yeah. It does feel more real, less tied up in a bow.
Right, yeah. Cool. I hesitate to ever call it realistic, because it's Star Wars. It's the most fantastical thing you can ever see. I liked those cool aliens that they got the ride from. That was very interesting design. I want so much more of that. I mean, I know that just is a lot more time consuming and costly for them to do. So that's why it's used so sparingly. And it is, maybe it wouldn't be as cool if it wasn't so sparing as well. But I love seeing guys like that.
They were characters with lines, though, and they were there when they didn't really even have to be. They could have just snuck by them and stole their ship.
Right.
And they could have turned around and went, huh? And then their ship's taking off.
Exactly.
But they were there and they did a thing, and they had a whole... They had characters, and the guy had a cool knife hand. And it's like,
and those could have easily just been 2 human guys. The scene would have worked just fine. We wouldn't have felt like we'd been cheated out of anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I think they will probably come back in some capacity for at least a moment.
Maybe, but maybe it
not.
just speaks to the high quality of this show, that it takes the time to actually, you know, give us some more Star Warsy creatures and remind us just the full, like, vastness of the world that these characters are living in, and all just a wide variety of different sort of people and creatures and things you're just gonna encounter along the way in any story in this universe. It's fun stuff.
And I mean, I guess too, like, all the prison stuff, most of the prison stuff was just a lot of people. It was just a lot of humans. It all felt very bottled.
Empire stuff. I think the Empire is more anti-alien and kind of anti-droid as well. That's why they were using human slaves in the prison at all. Instead of droids and stuff. So that's why the prison was a lot of humans. I think that's sort of what the Empire opts for.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Aliens probably just get even worse treatment, just executed or, you know, sent to the mines or whatever.
Well, they seem to be, like, genocided kind of often too, for, like, to build a fuel depot or whatever.
Or create a torture device.
Yeah, right. Oh, God. So, yeah, any predictions immediately? You think the whole thing kind of culminates at the funeral?
It does. And the funeral, I think, they talked about Rick's Road, right? Which is, like, the main road in that town. And I think that's where Cassian saw the Empire kill Clem, his dad, right? Like,
okay. Yeah.
Remember we saw the flashbacks of, like, there were other guys throwing stuff at the stormtroopers, and then Clem tried to stop them, and the stormtroopers thought it was him, and and I think that's why Cassian went to prison the first time over that whole incident. But so my point is, this is a very significant place for him as well. You know, this is where, like, the defining moments of his life have happened already, and so I also think that's the name of the finale episode. It's called Rick's Road.
Okay.
So everything culminates and goes down there. I think Deborah and Cyril are both going to be there. I know her name is really Dedra. It's more fun to call her Deborah. And yeah, it's going to be, you know, this is where it's all coming together. And that conversation Cyril was having and not having was weird.
Yeah, that was very strange.
That guy was definitely not answering the things he was saying, and he was answering somebody. So it was a conversation he had with someone else.
But it was sent to him as, like, a third party as a recording. So that's...
Yeah, it's weird.
I wonder who sent it, you know, what is the source of that. Cause
and I also wonder if we're going to get a definitive answer on that, or if it's just going to be a weirdness about that message that will not be addressed again. Because I could see it going either way.
Fine, just never figure it out.
Right.
The other thing I think we should talk about is Luthen's choice to go to the other general, or the other...
To Saul Guerrera.
Yeah, and tell him about what was going to be going on. Or was he warning him not to go join them?
Because he had been telling him to work with Anton Krieger, so I guess maybe it was
like, don't go, It
was a warning, I guess. Yeah, if there's something else we missed about that, maybe we talked over it. I know that we do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Clear that up for us about why exactly Luthen went to Saul to tell him about the whole situation with Krieger, because I know the Empire's going to get Krieger, and he's probably either dead or captured very soon, so, yeah.
Yeah. It was also just fun to see Luthen, again, he actually had a run-in with the Empire.
Where he was at risk, personally.
Yes, and actually fought them off, did some cool stuff. And that honestly makes me feel a lot more respect for his position.
Yeah.
Because he handled it.
He's not totally insulated.
Yes.
You were sort of worried last time that, he could decide to just hang this all up and go back to civilian life if he wanted to. And to an extent, he still could do that, but he does actually get involved. I'm wondering if that encounter is going to somehow get, reported back, and they will connect dots and realize that this is who they were looking for. And, maybe
could very well
getting seen by them was a slip-up.
Well, I mean, they saw that he has hyperspace technology. Right away.
I'm not sure if they were blown away by that or not. They didn't seem specifically like they were, but it also didn't seem like they thought he could do that. So
I don't know.
We'll see what happens. One episode
fun to
go.
See him get his hands dirty a little bit, actually dirty.
Yeah,
he's got blood on his hands personally now, and I probably did before, but I needed to see it.
Okay,
I needed to see it.
Well, this has been, we have one episode left. It's been a fun ride through a Star Wars TV show. I had, it's our first experience with that kind of thing. But, I'm excited for the finale. And that do it till next week?
Yep, I think so.
All right, well, thanks for joining us, everybody. We like all you. What's the name for Star Wars fans? Warsies? Like Trekkies?
I don't know.
Thanks, everybody. I'm Sean.
I'm Nate.
This is Catch Up Packets.